Clubhouse is one of the hottest topics recently. What's all the fuss about? I'll walk you through this Clubhouse app. Let's do it. Hey folks, welcome to Awesome Addiction, where we share fun new discoveries and appreciate different point of views. I'm your host, Nora Lim. You may or may not heard about a new social media platform called Clubhouse. The idea is drop-in audio chat. A lot of celebrities are using it, some influencers are sharing their experiences on stage, ordinary people like you and me can listen in. And just like attending an event, we have the opportunity to raise our hands and have a conversation with them, if we're lucky enough. So first, just to give you an idea, it's very similar to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, those social networks where you can connect and communicate with others, except it's in audio form. Yes, it's audio only. No comments, no likes. You can't show reaction. You can't share or repost an audio snippet either. Unlike our podcast, you can share it with your friends and listen to it as many times as you like. Okay, enough of that shameless plug-in. Now, back to Clubhouse. The conversations all happen live, in real time, so you can't replay it unless you figure out how to record it externally. As of March 2021, the only way to connect with each other on Clubhouse is to speak up. Okay, let's rewind and start from the beginning. Fun fact, many years ago in Malaysia, my family and I scouted some potential houses for sale. And that's my first time being introduced to this word called Clubhouse. In this particular scenario, the term clubhouse is referring to amenities exclusive to residents living in that neighborhood. Some examples would be swimming pool, gym, barbecue grilling area, etc. I've never heard of amenities being described as clubhouse here in California, so I thought I should bring it up. In real life, you can only gain access to the amenities if you live there, or if some residents invite you over. The founders of Clubhouse App probably borrowed the idea of exclusivity from this. So next up, how to join. Clubhouse is currently an invite-only platform. You can of course download the app on your iPhone or iPad and reserve a username, but you can't use it until your friend, who saves your phone number on their phone, invite you or approve your request to join the app. Imagine not having a friend that's already on the platform, but you really want to be part of that community. You gotta be patient, and this is where delayed gratification comes into play. Or this is where you could get in touch with some old friends and see if anyone could get you in. After your friend approved your request or have invited you, you probably won't receive any sort of notification. So hopefully they take an extra step to notify you personally. Once you're in, go ahead and answer all the questions to help the app better understand you and your interest and the languages that you speak, so that the algorithm can figure out what kind of rooms they should recommend to you. There's all sorts of clubs. If you're into cooking or entrepreneurship or anything fun, just look up the keyword in the search bar. Whenever someone in the club opens a new room, you'll receive a notification, so you won't miss it. But on the other hand, seeing a bunch of notifications could be annoying, so you'll make the call. If you're learning a second language, Clubhouse is a good way for you to observe how native speakers communicate. If you're not a shy person, you can even talk to them and practice. Every new user comes with 2 new invites, which means you have the ability to bring in 2 new users. I accidentally invited a friend who's not interested in using this app, so one of my slots are, poof, gone. I couldn't find a way to undo it. Fortunately, after a week of actively participating and speaking on stage, I've got 6 new slots. So yeah, don't freak out just yet. Once you're done with all that, set up the rest of your profile, write a bio, and link your Twitter or Instagram handles if you like. Another fun fact here, if you go to your profile, it will publicly display the date that you joined Clubhouse and also the user who nominated you. So it's a pretty cute way of giving your friend a credit. Shout out to my BFF Janelle Yuan. She invited me to Clubhouse on Valentine's Day this year, but due to the time zone difference, it's only February 13 here in California, and she whined about it. But yeah, thank you for this special gift. There's also an interesting way to find connections between people, and thanks to Candy for observing this. While you're at your profile, click on your friend who nominated you. And on her profile, click on the person who nominated her. And if you trace it all the way back, it's mind-blowing. The person who initiated this nomination could be a stranger from another continent. You're seeing all these people who are irrelevant to each other in real life, but being connected in such a subtle way. And I guess this echoes what Paul Davison, the co-founder and CEO of Clubhouse, wants to amplify. He said, "The focus is on authentic human connection and dialogue, rather than likes or follows, and it's all using your voice." I like what he said, and this represents the idea behind the app. Platforms like this enable us ordinary people to connect with our peers and even celebrities or strangers. And there's something special with verbal conversation. It brings an extra layer of warmth compared to plain text. It's all about human connection that brings spark into our lives. So, now that you're ready to roll, how to invite a friend if you're already a user? Number 1, make sure you have your friend's phone number. Save it as a contact on your phone. Number 2, launch Clubhouse app. At the very top of the screen, you'll see an icon that looks like an open envelope. Number 3, if you have earned some invites, you'll see a yellow spark on the icon. Click into it, you'll see a search bar. Go ahead and type in your friend's contact name and click on the invite button. Number 4, after doing so, let them know and enjoy reconnecting with them. When your friends follow you, you'll be able to see if they're currently online, and you can check out the rooms they're currently at. Pretty convenient. Next up, let's talk about the structure of the app. Once you're in a room, you'll see 3 different roles, which are moderator, speaker, and listener. Moderator and speaker are on the stage. They both have the ability to speak, whereas a listener can only listen. Pretty self-explanatory. Each room will have at least one moderator, and you'll see a green star next to their name. If there's only one moderator, she's very likely the person who started the room. This is the most powerful role because she has the ability to promote other people in the room into a moderator or a speaker. This differentiates a moderator from a speaker because a speaker doesn't have the privilege to promote other people. The only thing they can control is whether to speak or mute their own microphone. So, when you're in one of these positions, either moderator or speaker, feel free to adjust the audio quality settings based on the speed of your internet. When you enter a room, you're by default a listener. There are 2 tiers of listener. The ones that are followed by the speakers will be placed above regular listeners. All they can do is listen. So, there's not much of a difference here. Feel free to raise your hand, and the moderator will decide if they want to bring you on stage. And if they did pick you, remember to mute your mic if it's not your turn to speak, because it can be distracting to hear all sorts of noises when someone else is speaking. It's also disrespectful, so keep that in mind. Okay, after explaining the basic structure of the app and some fun facts, you may wonder, how does Clubhouse grow at such a rapid pace? If we put aside all that hype, Clubhouse is a fairly new app, released on April 2020. Wait a second, that timing sounded familiar, right? That's when COVID spread like wildfire, and that's when the lockdown happened. People couldn't socialize in person, and this created a demand. Clubhouse provided an alternative way for people to hang out with each other virtually. What makes it so sought after, though, is this perfect timing in late January 2021, when Elon Musk had a conversation on Clubhouse with Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood app. At the time, Robinhood faced a backlash in the midst of this battle between retail investors and institutional investors. They restricted trading of GameStop stocks and only allowed selling. So the people were furious that Robinhood was trying to manipulate the market. And so this was the buzz at the time. And this conversation takes place on Clubhouse definitely generated free publicity for the app. And now you understand why it went viral. After all this overview, let's talk about some pros that we didn't mention earlier. Number 1, you get to listen to different perspectives from ordinary, interesting people like you and I. Number 2, Clubhouse is continuing this trend of decentralization. And it's a good thing. Ever since the internet was created, information is no longer coming from one centralized source. In other words, we're learning stuff not only from the experts, but also from our peers. Number 3, it's a platform for people to communicate without being judged by their appearance. Musicians can play their creations and share it with people in the room. Number 4, to echo what I just said, socializing by using audio as compared to live streaming also means less stress for fixing your appearance. And that's it for pros. When we talk about pros, we gotta also mention the cons, right? What's the catch? Number 1, sorry, Android user, right now, it's only available on iOS devices. However, the CEO of Clubhouse did mention they're working to open up to everyone as fast as they can. So just hang in there, my friends. I do not personally own a Mac with M1 chip, but since it has the ability to run iOS apps, you should be able to run Clubhouse app on it as well. Give it a try if you own one. Number 2, there's no real way to filter haters. If they raise their hands and perform a hate speech on stage, it's gonna leave a stain on the victim. It makes me wonder, how does Clubhouse plan to address this issue? One possible solution that I observed is from someone called Christo. He's the founder of The Future. He's being transparent that his Clubhouse room conversations are being recorded. The method that he uses is to have the audience send in questions via Twitter, and they'll read it out loud and answer it on stage. But later on, they started bringing audience on stage, so maybe people are behaving well thus far. And hopefully it stays that way. Number 3, another con is that sometimes people are talking over each other and not muting mics when they're not talking. When someone is talking, it can be annoying for the audience to hear noises or random unrelated chit-chat from the other person. Number 4, it's not really a con, this is more like a room for improvement thing. As of right now, each Clubhouse room can only accommodate up to 6,000 people. Maybe they'll expand it later when they get more fundings. And this is pretty much all I got for pros and cons. After listening to what I've just shared, hopefully you get an idea of what it's like to hang out on the app. Do you think it has a future? Or maybe does it spark any other possibilities? Well, I was thinking, maybe they'll come up with ways to monetize content or come up with a membership subscription model. This is healthy in the long run because when content creators are compensated for their effort, they can continuously create great content that you like. And it's sustainable for both parties. For example, like YouTube has free videos, but creators have their own exclusive clubs where you can pay for exclusive members-only content. As far as how Clubhouse profits from all this, I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see how they transition to start bringing in revenue. Is it by running ads someday? Maybe. We'll see. Other social media giants are seeking to follow up with this trend of connecting people in audio form. I've been on Twitter Spaces, and there's a button to show different reactions. It'd be really cute if Clubhouse would consider adding supplementary features like this. My little final note for Clubhouse. Hopefully they'll continue to stand out from the crowd. It's really impressive for a 1-year-old app to have such a massive following. Congratulations to the team. So, this wraps up my little walkthrough of this Clubhouse app. I hope you enjoyed it or learned something new. Thanks to my friend who waited patiently for this English version to be released. We're just starting out, and I'm trying my best to make Awesome Addiction into a bilingual podcast. In the future, I do have plans to conduct the podcast with another co-host, just like what we're trying to achieve with the Chinese version of the show. But at this point, we're experimenting with different formats and durations. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us. Let us know your thoughts and let us know whether you liked it or not. You can reach us on Instagram at awesomeaddiction.podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Nora Lim signing off. Have a great day.